Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner. It's time for part two, USA made. Um, yeah, these go long. I'm gonna try to. I'm not gonna really get into prices and things like that on this one. Maybe just some stats and things, but yeah, just trying to keep down to say, I went to work today. I didn't have Tuesday off. I only had Monday off, but that was nice. 3-day weekends are always nice. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I'm not gonna talk too much. I know that'll make some people happy, that's for sure. But other people say they don't mind me rambling, right? We're under the middle range of the prices for American knives, and I do surprise myself when I start getting into this stuff how many knives I really have. And you get them out in front of you and go, "Wow, and it's been a long road. It's been years, not everything all at once. It's a matter of over time. I started out with the fixed blades. We got the Bradford Guardian 3. And yeah, this is one that it's still every time, it's because it's that leather sheath. Every time I take it off, I have to wipe off a little something coming from the inside of the sheath. Yep, see? Even there. Just put it in for a second. So, yeah, feels really good in hand. Smaller knife. Good EDC. Maybe a little bit bigger than some of the more modern ones that you see coming out now. There seems to be like a whole trend for the smaller ones. This one gives you a little bit more blade. I think it was 3.5 inches on it. M390. I think they have different steels, definitely different steels. When I did pick this up at Blade Show West, they said, hey, if you want a different pattern on the handle, we'll swap it out for you right here. And then they do have Kydex sheaths. It does come with this when you buy it, and that's part of the cost. It's got just that whole horizontal carry type thing, which works for me. Took a while for this kind of wear in, leathers like that. It'll stretch over time, but it's worked pretty good. Haven't really thought lately about getting the Kydex, but yeah, Bradford Guardian 3, great knife. I mean, it's just well made. They know how to make a knife for sure. USA made and good quality. More. Okay, so these next 3 fixed blades, all from the same company, but 2 of them are coming from Tim School of Fish. He's got his Blackwater Knife Company, and you can see there's the logo right there. He's got another drop coming out pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'm pretty sure I keep up pretty well with his videos, so I'm pretty sure it hasn't dropped yet. And I know he's been having a lot of health issues, and I think that's slowing it down a little bit. Plus, I know that Jacob from Very Good Knife Company is going to be at Blade Show this year. So this one was the, let's see if I can remember which one this one is. I think it's not the Snook, it's the Bonefish. The Bonefish. So Wharncliffe blade, very cool, or I guess sheep's foot, right? Or Wharncliffe, because it's flat. You know how difficult it is to keep up with all the different names. So yeah, Bonefish here, and he names all his knives after types of fish, and then he has different names for the handle material. I think this was. Let's see if I put it down on my list. He called it the Wildfire, because it has a little bit of brown, and I don't know if it comes out here. There's a little bit of red in there in that micarta. Very nice micarta. And good, excellent quality, coming from Very Good Knife Company every time. This one was the Snook. This is the first one that Tim put out. And like I said, there's a new design. I don't remember if I've heard what the name of it is, or I'm not sure if I've even seen it. But yeah, Blackwater Knife Company. This one was the Pistachio is what he called it, because it's like a pistachio micarta. Great knife, great size. You see I'm rocking them with different clips. I got the Ulti clip on this one, so I'm clipping this one in the pocket. It's more like a pocket fixed blade. This one's got an Ulti clip, but it's a belt type clip. And I picked this up at a Blade Show. Thought I'd give it a try. It works out pretty well. So that works well. And then I got my third one here. Now, this one isn't from Tim's School of Fish. This was directly from Very Good Knife Company. It was called the Adventure. And it's a little bit bigger, more of a, full-size, smaller fixed blade. But, man, it's a nice one. Thick. Look at that thickness on that thing. And I'm telling you, the quality coming from a very good knife company is amazing. So I highly recommend them. You can get some good, you can get stainless steels or carbon steels if you like. I think this one, let's see what our steels are. I think I'm going carbon steel on all these ones. So I had the 80 CRV on 80, I think 80 CRV on all of them. 80 CRV. So that's a great fixed blade knife material. I try to keep it from getting too much patina, but I don't mind a little bit. This is definitely a worker knife. I mean, in fact, most of his knives are like that, just solid. I mean, you can definitely do some great work with it. And this is one of his older style carrying options that is made out of Kydex. And he does it all, Jacob does all his own Kydex, and it always fits excellent, always locks in, always has an incredible thumb ramp to help you get it out of the sheath. So excellent. Definitely recommend checking them out. If you're going to Blade Show, he's got a table. You got to go see it. You got to see it to believe it, because you're seeing it here, but you got to have it in your hand. All right, let's get into Spyderco. We all know that Spyderco does a lot of stuff from Taiwan. It's got some stuff from Italy, a lot of stuff out of Japan, and some stuff out of China. But you get some of their more premium models coming out of the USA. Golden Colorado Earth. I have, if you watch the channel, I got a couple PM2s. Not normal for me. And both of them, well, this one was the original GT10, and I ended up with the Flytanium scales on it. I just wanted to give it a little bit extra something. It's got the stock clip, and it's got, compression lock. This is the S45VN version. But they're coming out with all kinds of different steels. And this one over here is the Crew Carta with Crew Wear. So an example of what you can get. Now, I don't know if these are still available. These things can drop and then they kind of go away. But they always come up with something new. So if you wait a while, they'll come up with something else fantastic. So again, USA Earth. That's what they like to put on there. But this micarta is excellent. So I'll never change out the scales on this one, but I changed out the clip on this one. So this is the first Spyderco that I actually changed the clip myself on to get that deep carry clip. Because I'm okay with the Spyderco clips, obviously. I got my Yojimbo. I love the Yojimbo, and I had to go maximize the size on that thing just so, I got a little pocket sword with me. This thing is kind of a monster, but man, it is such a good knife. Excellent cutter, definitely a Wharncliffe on this guy, and excellent hollow grind on it. S30V, but still, this S30V is amazing. It really cuts well. Michael Janish design, he works with Spyderco on a lot of their stuff. And then we got the awesome BBB Brown Bear design. Well, not design so much as the heat treat. I believe he's doing the heat treating on this one. 15V, a little bit of patina on there, a little bit of color. Looks cool. I like it. I actually put the ODC for EDC, the compression made easy, CME. And it works really well. This one had like a nub on it. Actually, there's a little bit of a nub on the Yojimbo as well, and I'll show you what I mean by a nub. When it's fully closed, there's like a little piece of the blade that sticks up in that area of the compression lock. I've gotten quite used to getting my finger out of the way as I'm closing it, and I may at some point get more of them, because this one really works well, because you do have a nub, unless you do the delete where they take this a little bit of material off, and I didn't really want to get into that, but I did want to try out the compression made easy device. Worked really well. I managed to get it on there, and it stays on there. They really have a good system. Just follow the instructions. This one is all dressed out. It's got Rips Garage Tech and then the aftermarket clip as well. But that was all done prior to me buying this on the secondary market. And yeah, this is an awesome knife. It just feels so good with the titanium, with that milling. Excellent knife, USA made. All right, so that's all the Spydercos in this portion of the collection. Let's go to American Blade Works. I mean, obviously that's going to be an American-made knife, right? So he makes all his own hardware. He makes his clips. He makes everything, like in his little shop. And he is quite a nice guy. So I mean, it's pretty much, I say he because I think he just does all the work himself. He's probably was like an incredible machinist and just kind of retired or whatever, or maybe he just built his own shop and decided to make knives. MagnaCut, one of my earliest MagnaCut purchases. This one does only have the back flipper. A little bit of a downside for this one, but it's such a nice knife and really great price. I guess I could mention this one because American Blade Works, $199 for MagnaCut, excellent micarta, all USA, all the way down to the, because I think a lot of the USA maids, they'll buy their hardware from other places, but yeah, so he's doing all this stuff. And he does an incredible job, and he's a really nice guy. So if you ever make it to Blade Show, or if you're going to Blade Show, find his booth. He's always there. He's at like all the shows that I've been to. He's been there, and really great. He's got his wife there supporting him. I don't know if he's got any other family maybe supporting as well, but great guy. Just so much respect for that man. All right, let's start over on this end. This is the only slip joint in this particular portion of the collection, and it is a GEC, and they are a little bit more pricey. I think this was running in at maybe one of the higher ends for this portion of the collection. Let me see if I can find the GEC was $250, $250. So not quite the Jack Wolf prices. This one came from C. Reisner Cutlery, otherwise known as Traditional Pocket Knives, and bought that from them. It's the Indian head, and there's this whole story that that's an owned thing to be able to use the Indian head on a knife. So it's something that you can't get from just anybody. It's got to come from C. Reisner Cutlery, to the best of my knowledge. This is also a dual blade. So it's got we've got the penknife and a nice clip point. Really well made. Kieranite. I didn't have any Kieranite knives. I kind of like them. Just kind of the reason why I have a lot of variety in my collection, and some people have commented about it. It really comes from the fact that I like all these different aspects of knife making, and I like to experience them all. Sometimes, once I've got it one time, I'm good. And other times I get it and I go, man, that's so nice. I got to get more. So it's just the way it goes. But I never know until I actually get one in my collection, and so that's why I'll step out and really try to find stuff like Kieranite and things like that. I mean, it's very smooth, but it's nice looking. You can see how it catches the light. It's just a really, really nice. So that's my only GEC in my collection. This one's an interesting little guy. This is the first OTF I ever got. Look at that blade. Look at that thing. That's M390. It's beautiful grinds on this thing, and the design of how they did that hollowing out in the middle. It just looks so cool. But it's a tiny little guy, and it is California legal, so I can carry this one and not have to worry about it, unless some police officer doesn't really know the laws. That's always a concern. But yeah, 2 inch and under is the legal limit. I always pull out my Knife Rights app on my phone and try to get my way out of it that way, because it shows what you can and can't carry in different places. So if you've ever been curious, like if you travel a lot, for sure you need to get that app to find out if you're bringing a knife with you. You want to make sure it's not something that can get you in trouble. This one is from 3M Tactical, and it is called the Rogue. And I didn't know anything about 3M Tactical when I got this one. It's like a little shop in Arizona, and they highly recommended it. And it's such a cool knife. I've had it for a long time, and the action is excellent. I lost a screw on one of these guys and contacted the guy from 3M Tactical. He was very cool and sent me new screws to have. So I always make sure I tighten them. I've found with OTFs, personal experience with OTFs, it gets a little vibration when you're opening and closing it, and that can tend to loosen the screws. In my experience, you can always Loctite it. That would be a good thing. But I don't do a lot of Loctiting of my, unless something's backing out, it's just notorious for backing out. I don't usually Loctite it. Getting into some very cool ProTech knives. Actually, this is the only ProTech I had for the longest time. This is the Malibu. My first blade show, the one that was in Long Beach, they had this special edition, and ProTech is really good about that. You'll find that ProTech very commonly will have a blade that they make in a limited edition. There's only 100 of these made. Obviously, it's a Malibu, but this, because it has this special mosaic pin, and it's numbered and everything from Blade Show West, and it tells you the year 2021. And so, yeah, for the longest time, this is the only ProTech I've had, and I really, really love this. I mean, it's a smaller knife, but the action is so amazing. Even being a flipper only, I mean, obviously you can use the button as well, which is another option, but it's not my go-to. I don't normally use the lock mechanism as an opening, but you can do it. But so smooth. The action is just amazing. The quality that they put into their knives is amazing. So the Malibu, I was so glad, because back then it was really hard to get. And I think it still is. I mean, usually you look for them and they're out of stock. Another one that was like that, and I managed to get this one on the secondary from Blade Bench. I was really excited about that. I really want to get into buying more stuff from Blade Bench and maybe selling some stuff there too. But this is the Mordax. It's a nice basic one, a nice blue, aluminum handles. They do such a great job. I mean, and it's got that same amazing action, a little bit different sound. But man, the action, you just all day long. It just feels really good. I like the size. I like you can choke up. Great size. What are we talking about with steel here? I think this one was, what is it? CPM S45. So this one's S45. I don't remember what this one is. Let's see if I can see it. My old eyes will work well enough to tell me what it is. ProTech CPM S20. Oh, this is 20 CV. So both great steels, excellent steels. I think I could have gotten this in Magna Cut, but I like S45, and I think Magna Cut might be a little bit of flash in the pan, a little bit of overhyped. I got quite a few Magna Cuts. They're great steels, obviously, but I mean, I think S45 may be arguably a better steel. Arguably. Potentially, but I'm not an expert. MSI. This is definitely a candidate. I bought it when I did buy it. It was a candidate for swapping out the scales. I haven't taken apart one of these ram locks yet, but if I get the scales, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna work it out. It may get frustrating, but I am gonna work it out. This is such a great knife, big knife. Action on the ram lock is really good. It's got good action. I mean, obviously it's a little soft, a little smushy, with any kind of axis lock. Same with button locks, but it's not bad at all, and it's big, nice heavy knife. So action is great, but the scales are the FRN. I really want to get. They have some great aftermarket ones. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that some point in the future. Looking forward to that. Okay, speaking of knife rights. We got the Ritter Hogue. I remember when they were doing those 24-hour things where there would be YouTube channels carrying on for the whole 24 hours. There's somebody was doing a live during that period of time, and they were getting donations and things like that. And that was so cool. And at the time that they were doing, I think they did a couple years. I don't know if they're still doing it. I don't think so. I haven't really heard of it lately. But it was so cool. I got really inspired, and I picked this one up during that live. I mean, it's just They do such good work, especially here in California. We really need help, and they are working on it. They are really trying to make it like a national thing and get more states on board, and therefore have like what do you call it when you have an example of a case that you can point to when you're doing another case. I forget that's a legal term. I'd know it if I heard it. Probably a lot of you are yelling it at me right now, but I can't hear you, so I'm not going to remember probably. Standing. I think that's right. Anyway, Ritterhogue, very great. I mean, it's rough texture. People talk about these things being tearing up your pockets. I've never really had that experience. And I mean, I carry a knife every day, and I really haven't had that experience. And I don't, people talk about it, and I'm sure they're not making it up, but I just haven't had that experience. I don't know why. I've never really had a pocket get all worn out from, a knife going in and out. Maybe they're taking their knife in and out of their pocket like 50 times a day, and I don't do that so much. Because I work in an office, and my boss would probably look at me like, "Hey, shouldn't you be working instead of flicking that knife all day?" Emerson, great American, just 100% American company. I got a great T-shirt from them on my first year at Blade Show West, and it's like all about America and the history of this knife company. And I've always wanted to get one. I have the Kershaw versions that are made, the QCQC or 7QCQC, whatever it's called. Anyway, so at Texas Blade Show, I did pick this one up. I just looked at what they had. The funny thing is that they had their store and their company is located like a few miles away from me, and I've never been to their store. Their hours are kind of like when I'm working, but you would think that I would find some time to do it. Is it front flip? Yeah, front flips. I forgot. Yeah, so it's just very cool. They got the thumb disc. I mean, there's a lot of things about it. It's G10 handles, super grippy. I always mention that when I have this knife in my hand, because when you have it in your hand, it's so noticeable. Even more so than that I always talk about that skateboard tape. Even more so than that, this is super grippy. And they are using 154 cm. So there's a lot of stuff that they do that's not, your run-of-the-mill. I think this one's called the Skinner. Where is it? I gotta find it on the list here because I'm kind of going out of order. So, Market Skinner SF. I don't know what SF stands for off the top of my head, but Market Skinner. But it does have that kind of Nessmuk almost look to the way that belly is up at the front. Yeah, then they do a lot of billboarding, but hey, this is a company that's been around for a long time. I think they kind of like Tops does that too, and Microtag, obviously. But I let them go ahead and do it because I just have so much respect for them as a company. Definitely on washers, and it has that feel, that washer feel. It's just a different kind of feel than bearings. And if you're used to more of the common knives that you're seeing on a lot of videos, you may not have a lot of washer knives, but it's a big difference between washers and bearings, big time. And some people are fully into the washer camp. I like them both. And now we're down to some USA made knives from Benchmade, and it is the classic, the Bug Out. It's really not that small of a knife. I mean, it's not big, it's not small, but it's thin and it's light. And it's got a butterfly on it, so you got to pay for that. This is like a S30V version, and here's one again where the FRN had to go, and I got the G10. These are really nice. Can you see that it's like a purple? I don't know if it's coming out well in the lighting, but it's it's not like a bright purple, but it's a very nice purple, and it looks really good. Even with the blue studs in there, with a little pop, next to it, because the blue studs, came with the knife, and I just replaced the scales. And then the black hardware looks good. You can see a lot of wear. This one's seen a lot of time. This is an early acquisition, bought for me by my girlfriend when she wanted to spoil me, because she's awesome like that. And yeah, at the time I was watching all the Blade HQ videos where they're talking about how great the this knife is, and you know, no one was talking about the price back then. Not that I heard, at least. Maybe they were, and it just wasn't on, you know, because I was watching more of the Knife Center, Blade HQ, those kind of things where they're trying to sell this stuff, so they're not going to complain about the price. And, you know, like this one, the 940, I bought, you know, knowing that there's going to be a little bit of a price adder, but it's such a cool knife. And it's got that green and purple. It just, why does green and purple look so good? But they managed to pull it off so well on this one. And I do like the blade shape, nice length to it, very comfortable, very solid built knife. Not so much the sliciest, but definitely got some thickness, whereas the Bug Out does not. The Osborne 940 does have a little thickness there. You can see it before it gets to the swedge. You can definitely see it. But yeah, it's nice. Got that reverse Tonto. You know how much I love that. And this one is probably S30. Let me look at it because it's small writing there. Let me see if I can see it on my spreadsheet. Where are you? There's Benchmade 940. They're both S30V, and that's a very popular steel with Benchmade, and a good steel. I mean, it's not like, you know, MagnaCut, and you know, they do of course do some stuff in MagnaCut because of the you know, everybody is right. I believe they do. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert at Benchmade. I think that there's other ones, you know, that I've been thinking about for years, and they're good knives. And if you're feeling like you got a little extra money in your pocket, and it might be a little bit easier to pay that extra money. And you know, I'm not gonna make a whole collection out of them like some people do, and I have nothing against that at all. But it's not for me. But I definitely have a few out there that I've kind of thought about over the years. You know, it's that kind of thing. And eventually there's going to come a time where it's just, all the stars are going to line up, and it's just going to shine down on that knife. Maybe I'm buying it. Maybe I'm going to buy it at Blade Bench, and I'm going to get a great price. I don't know. We'll see. But that's it for the second part. So if there's any USA made knives that you've been waiting to see, that you know I have, but you wanted to see it as part of the collection, I still got one more. Part 3 coming up, and that's going to be, I think, let's see what our highest price, or I'll tell you what the range price for this one, when I sort it smallest, whoops, hang on. So it started at 150 with the Bradford, and went up to 290 with the Malibu. So that was the price range here. So pretty much after this, it's like around 300 and up. Yeah, because 290 is almost 300 anyway. So you know there's going to be some bangers coming in this next one. This is going to be some stuff coming out of the vault case. You know, some really high end stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that and finishing up this series. I'll probably do it tomorrow, just kind of get it done and then move on. We're really getting close. You don't want to hear me say it again. You know, you probably repeat after me, right? You know what's coming. So, hey, I will see you. Not bad, under 30 minutes. I will see you on the next one. Bye.